Hello and welcome to News 9. I am Shubhayan Chakravarti, joined by Nikhil Narayan to discuss the big match between Delhi Capitals and Royal Challengers Bangalore, the second match of the day in the IPL 2022. There's of course that Mumbai Indians match is going on at the moment, and Mumbai Indians are in trouble and on course to register their sixth consecutive loss in this IPL 2022. But here we are discussing the second match of the day, that is between Delhi Capitals and RCB. We have an update from the Wankhede Stadium that's on the toss. So the trend continues. Delhi Capitals have won the toss and have opted to field first. Nikhil, I think yeah, this has become a stamped trend of IPL 2022.
Absolutely, but this ground I can understand, Shubhayan, the boundaries are really small, the dimensions are really small. So
and Wankhede has traditionally assisted the teams chasing.
Absolutely. So therefore, I'm not surprised. This is a tactical move, not the other superstition which has been happening in this tournament. But yes, the trend remains, and as I discussed with you in our show in the afternoon, I'm waiting for the team which breaks the trend.
Absolutely, and for Delhi Capitals, Mitchell Marsh, the Australian all-rounder who was injured during Australia versus Pakistan series, he's back fit. And he replaces SARFARAZ Khan from the playing 11. A bit harsh on SARFARAZ, given that he was not given a chance to bat much for DC, but for RCB, Harshal Patel is back in the RCB 11 and Akashdeep sits out. So big welcome for Harshal Patel after a sad incident, sad incident in his family. So Harshal Patel would be looking to make a comeback and give a special tribute to his bereaved sister.
Absolutely, I'm a little surprised that he's back in the 11, but different people have different ways to deal with the grief. He's been a revelation this season. Fantastic in the death overs, very economical overall. So, Harshal Patel, I'll be interested to see how he sort of, performs today after the tragedy in this family.
Absolutely, and Mitchell Marsh, Harshal Patel, these are the two big changes from Delhi Capitals and RCB camp. Let's take a look at the playing 11, and RCB playing 11 will be looking much stronger with Harshal Patel back in this 11. Faf Du Plessis, the captain, his opening partner Anuj Rawat is there. Virat Kohli, all eyes will be on Virat Kohli, whether he gets some runs under his belt or not. Then Glenn Maxwell, Shahbaz Ahmed, Suyash Prabhudesai, who has been mighty impressive in the last couple of matches. Then Dinesh Karthik, what a season he is having.
Great finisher.
Absolutely, and Vanindu Hasaranga, one of the leading wicket takers in IPL 2022. Harshal Patel is back. Mohammad Siraj and Josh Hazelwood. This team, Nikhil, I think they are looking like a complete squad now.
They look like a complete squad. They would want a bit more from Faf Du Plessis at the top of the order. He hasn't sort of, really scored at a high scoring rate, which was his USP when he played for CSK in the last couple of seasons. Also, it's time for the X factor, Glenn Maxwell. Glenn Maxwell now needs to step on the accelerator as the business end of the tournament approaches. Dinesh Karthik has been a revelation. For me, he is the trump card. In fact, I am looking at him as a possible finisher for India, the way he's batting, striker above 200 in the tournament. Hasaranga, 10 wickets, brilliant leg spinners. Leg spinners have been dominating the tournament. Kulcha, Hasaranga, Harshal, brilliant at the death. Hazelwood, economical as ever. Siraj, not at his best, but, a quality bowler.
Nikhil, how tough will it be for Harshal to, get the psyche right for this match? It's not easy to come back so soon after such a tough loss in the family.
See, different players, different athletes deal differently with loss and tragedy, Shubhayan. We all remember Sachin Tendulkar, in that World Cup when he lost his father, Virat Kohli, and he came back. Tendulkar scored a century against Kenya, right? So, different players have different ways to deal with tragedies and losses. Maybe, Harshal Patel wants to give a tribute to his sister by winning a match for RCB, putting them, in the top 4 or in the top 2 even. So, therefore, it will be tough because, cricket, however good you might be a superstar, a personal loss and family is always, it's not comparable. It is something which is, always a bit more than cricket, which is at the end of the day just a sport.
Absolutely, and it's going to be an emotional evening for Harshal Patel, but all the best wishes for him so that he can make a good strong comeback in this match against Delhi Capitals. But let's take a look at Delhi Capitals' playing 11 as well. A very strong squad. The batting unit wasn't looking that great, but the addition of Mitchell Marsh is definitely going to strengthen this lineup.
Absolutely, Mitchell Marsh, we all know what he did for Australia in the World T20 final, right, Shubhayan? He was absolutely brilliant. So Mitchell Marsh, a fantastic all-rounder, now a veteran all-rounder. He can win the match with the bat. Not as potent with the ball anymore, but he can still, provide the fireworks with the bat. DC, for me,
what about their opening?
Yes, for me, I was about to comment on that. For me, the X factor, the standout batsman so far has been Prithvi Shaw. 160 runs, strike rate of 170. He is in devastating form, and even if he gets a 30, 35, 40, he does that in 20, 25 deliveries. The platform is set for the rest of the batting unit, and that is, a very Virendra Sehwag-like quality. What Sehwag used to do for India in limited overs cricket. Warner, a good 60 in the last match, but still I think we are yet to see the best of Warner. Rishabh Pant needs an explosive innings. Since becoming captain, he's sort of matured. His strike rate has slightly gone down. It's in 135.
Should he promote himself at number 3 or number 4?
See, with Mitchell Marsh, I think Mitchell Marsh is now in the squad, so Mitchell Marsh might bat at 3. Is the feeling I get. Also, I think DC are a bit worried about the lower order. So I think they want to preserve Pant for 4. He can't bat lower than 4 because he's wasting a talent like Pant. So because if you see the lower order, they really don't have a finisher as such, because Dhakor hasn't done much. Aksar first match, but Powell hasn't proved himself in the IPL as yet. So they need Pant for the slightly lower order also.
Are you surprised that they are persisting with Rovman Powell so much, because he hasn't fired at all in this tournament, not with the bat, not with the ball?
I'm a bit surprised. I think, the faith is in not Rovman Powell, the individual, but West Indian cricketers per se. Shimron, Hetmeyer, Pooran in the past. West Indian cricketers have been a great. I mean, they've been very synonymous with the rise of the IPL. They've shown in the IPL. So I think they want him. They think he's going to be one of the great, West Indian players like others in this IPL.
Absolutely. We talked about that there will be pressure on Rishabh Pant, but will there be pressure on Shardul Thakur as well, because he has been expensive in this tournament so far?
He's been expensive. He's not picked wickets. He hasn't provided the cameos. So little bit pressure, yes. I mean, he still remains.
And Akshar as well.
Akshar, yes, apart from his cameo in the first match, he's been very expensive. His economy rate is above 9 per over.
And he was the least expensive spinner last time around, right?
Absolutely. He was DC's unsung hero. He had an economy rate of around 5 or 6. So there's a little bit of pressure on Akshar to get by the control in the middle overs. It's very important for DC. Akshar, bowls a restrictive line in the middle overs, even if he does not pick wickets, Shubhayan.
But what about Kuldeep Yadav? What a turn around.
He's back. Kulcha is back. Kuldeep Yadav, 10 wickets. Again, bowling brilliantly, also very economical, not conceding runs. Kuldeep Yadav is back. I think he's in a reckoning for Australia, where he's done well in the past. So Yuzvendra Chahal is also, I think he's the leading wicket taker right now. So I think the pairing of Kulcha, given what the Indian captain Rohit Sharma, he backs wrist spinners, I think they are back.
Absolutely. And if you want to get more updates on the sporting action, be it IPL, be it any other sport, then do subscribe to News 9 Sports, because that is where we are putting up all our content. So News 9 Sports is your one-stop destination for all things sports. So go to YouTube, just type News 9 Sports and subscribe to our new channel, so that you don't miss out on any action when it comes to the sporting world. Nikhil, Delhi Capitals and RCB, two formidable sides, those who have done really well in the last couple of years. Who has the advantage in this match?
If you see the head-to-head, RCB has the advantage, Shubhayan. It's a 16-10 head-to-head if you see the record. So therefore, I think RCB, in fact, and then last season also, I think RCB won both their matches. So RCB, over the years has had the wood over the Capitals. Given their team, it's not much to choose, Shubhayan. RCB might have a better bowling unit, but DC has firepower in the top half. It's very difficult to choose. I think this is going to be a very, very close contest.
Very close contest. I'm seeing that one tied match there. Is a super over on cards? We haven't seen one yet.
It might be on the cards. RCB actually won that match in the super over. It is on the cards, I think. Let's see. Maybe today's the day.
Maybe today is the day, but do let us know which team you are backing in this match between DC and RCB, and also let us know which player are you looking forward to watch in this match between DC and RCB. Of course, there are plenty of big name superstars there, be it Virat Kohli, be it Rishabh Pant, all the big name players are in that RCB and DC playing 11. But the latest coming in from Wankhede is from the toss, and the toss update is the obvious one. Of course, the winning team has opted to field first, and that is Delhi Capitals. Delhi Capitals have won the toss and have opted to field first. For Delhi Capitals, Mitchell Marsh comes into their playing 11, and Sarfaraz Khan walks out of the 11. So Mitchell Marsh is in the DC 11 in place of Sarfaraz Khan, and for RCB, Harshal Patel is back after a personal loss in his family, and he replaces Akash Deep in that 11. So the pace lineup of Harshal Patel and Josh Hazelwood along with Mohammad Siraj is going to be the mainstay of RCB 11. A good bowling attack, I would say.
Therefore, I was saying RCB's bowling attack maybe just gives them the edge over Delhi Capitals on a wicket, which is expected to be a belter for batsmen.
Yeah. And Nikhil, we talked about the toss and the Wankhede equation, obviously, but how crucial will be the toss? I mean, Wankhede, we know it has a history of chasing advantage to chasing team, but is it really relevant? See,
it is relevant because dew again might play a factor. Also, the ground dimensions are small, Shubhayan, which means if you have a target if you have a set target which you are going after, you can strategize better. You are confident of chasing down in the last 5 overs even 60, 65 if you have wickets in hand, and therefore on smaller grounds chasing is always an advantage.
Absolutely, and that is why people are opting to field first, because they want to know what the target is, what they are chasing. Of course, there are so many big name players, as I said earlier, and we'll take a look at some of the X-factor players from DC and RCB camp. Of course, for DC there are so many names. It's very difficult to hand pick one player out of them, and for RCB also you have a plethora of world-class stars. For Delhi Capitals, obviously it has to be Prithvi Shaw. The sort of knock he played against Kolkata Knight Riders, oh my God, I think he has to be the most devastating Indian batter at the moment.
Absolutely, he is by far the most talented Indian batsman. We all know that. It's just that sometimes talent alone is not enough to get you a place in the 11. Consistency has been a problem in the past, Shubhayan, but last season he was very consistent also. So 160 runs, highest scorer for DC. Strike rate is 170. 170 is a strike rate of batsmen who bat in the death overs. So and he's doing it as an opener. Andre Russell, Paul Ardner, those Sunil Narine back in the day, they used to have a strike rate like Glenn Maxwell, but he has a strike rate opening the innings, and this is what makes this player special.
And I think the players with 170, 160 strike rate, they should be given a extra cushion that, okay, you fail in one of the innings, 2 of the innings, 3 of the innings, we'll give that cushion to you.
Absolutely. Like Russell, if he succeeds 1 in 4, gets to play every match for KKR. Similarly, Prithvi Shaw should be given that cushion. If you succeed 1 in 4, get that 70 or 40 balls, you've done your job. That has to be the attitude for batsmen like Prithvi Shaw, like it was for batsmen like Virendra Sehwag in the past.
Absolutely, and for RCB also there are so many big names. For DC, obviously the eyes will be on Prithvi Shaw, but for RCB it has to be the spin king, Wanindu Hasaranga. The way he has bowled, I mean, it's absolutely sensational.
Absolutely sensational. See, he is a star bowler. We all know he was the leading wicket taker in the T20 World Cup. Leading wicket taker for them this season, 10 scalps, 5 games, very, very economical bowling strike, just 11.4, Shubhayan. So, Wanindu Hasaranga is, he is a brilliant leg spinner. And he is very much, what the RCB has done well is that by getting Hasaranga, they have not missed the services of Yuzvendra Chahal, who was one of their biggest match winners in the middle overs, controlling the middle overs for in the last few editions. Hasaranga has stepped into the shoes of Chahal, very quickly and very swiftly.
Absolutely, and he can use the long handle as well. So a very potent player to have in your playing 11 when it comes to T20 cricket. So Nikhil, we talked about 2 X-factor players, but this is a big match for both the teams. It will define whether they stay back in the bottom half of IPL table, or they move up with the big guns in this tournament so far. We talked about the two big individual players, but there are going to be many mini battles in this match between DC and RCB, and we'll take a look at some of the key battles in this match that we are going to see in a few minutes, that is between Delhi Capitals and RCB. Nikhil, starting with the power play, which battle you think is going to define this game?
I think the battle between Warner and Siraj is going to be very interesting. Warner scored a 50 in the last match. If you see, look at his number.
That strike rate.
That strike rate, I mean 190, almost 2 runs a ball, almost 200, just dismissed once. So scoring almost 2 runs a ball. So, you know, Warner, I think, is going to go after Siraj, because Siraj hasn't been at his, you know, like other Indian bowlers have excelled, like Prasidh Krishna, Umesh Yadav. Siraj hasn't been at his best in this tournament in the power play. And therefore, I think Warner is going to attack Mohammad Siraj. Could be a very interesting battle, Shubhayan, in the power play. Of
course, and David Warner will find a fellow Australian in that opposition bowling lineup with Josh Hazlewood as well. So, interesting matchup up in the cards. And Nikhil, the next battle is also a very interesting key battle. You know, I personally think this can definitely define the match that is between Pant and Maxwell. Of course, Maxwell, we haven't seen him bowl that much so far in this tournament, but against a left-hander, it's a direct matchup card for Faf Du Plessis.
Absolutely. This is going to be a very good tactic. I mean, Maxwell needs to be held back for when Rishabh Pant comes into bat, because, you know, the off-spinner taking the ball away, and Rishabh Pant has his problem against, you know, off-spinner. So, this is going to be interesting. He's dismissed him twice.
Yeah.
And he hasn't even dominated him. Strike rate is only 91, which means he's restricted Rishabh Pant. So, you know, I think the only way, I think Pant will attack, but Pant is not going to go down fight. I think he's going to use the sweep shot. He may go inside out, but it's going to be an interesting battle because the ball will be moving away from Pant.
True. And any other battle you are going for this match, in this match, you know, because there are so many big name players. I am just talking about the big name players taking part in this match.
I'm very interested in seeing Shubhayan how the finisher of the tournament for me, or one of the finishers, along with Shimron Hetmeyer and Lim. So, Dinesh Karthik. True. Dinesh Karthik, how does he face Mustafizur Rahman? Because Mustafizur has been excellent, very good in the death overs, very economical. I think he has the economy rate of 5 odd in the tournament. But Dinesh Karthik's strike rate is 220 almost.
Absolutely.
And the way he is batting, he's reminding me of the Nidhyas Trophy. The way he's batting, the way he's hitting in the leg side. Whipping the ball,
and even the slog sweep.
Yeah, absolutely. The way he picks the ball, great hand-eye coordination. So Dinesh Karthik versus Mustafizur Rahman.
Knocking the door, Dinesh Karthik.
Definitely knocking the door. Hardik Pandya is also there. Dinesh Karthik. I think we are getting a good lineup for the T20 in Australia. But Dinesh Karthik, Rohit Sharma has already said, he's also in the mix. So Dinesh Karthik is in the mix. Hardik Pandya is in the mix. Sanju Samson is in the mix. So a lot of people are in the mix. But Dinesh Karthik for me is a finisher. He is, the way he is batting, I mean, why not?
But of course, fans will be worried about Rohit Sharma's personal form as well, because he's at the moment is not scoring runs. But Lalit Yadav versus Wanindu Hasaranga. I mean, Lalit Yadav, you know, has gotten his chances to bat, has done mixed. It has been a mixed bag sort of a tournament for Lalit Yadav. So far started really well, but then he has gone downwards since then. But Wanindu Hasaranga versus Lalit Yadav, I'm expecting Hasaranga to dominate this battle.
Yeah, I mean, same here. I mean, Hasaranga, I think with all his experience, his variations, I think he'll be a handful for Lalit Yadav. I think this battle, I mean, we can already conclude that Hasaranga might just have an upper hand.
Absolutely, and that is why Hasaranga is highly rated in this T20 format. And the news coming in from that match of Mumbai Indians, you know, Mumbai Indians, Nikhil, need 26 runs off 6 deliveries with Kieron Pollard on strike. Is it possible? Is it possible? Kieron Pollard has done it. He has hit 6 sixes in international cricket as well. But can he? Chase?
If anyone can do it, it is the man from Jamaica. It is the man. You know, but wow. I mean, which means the match has gone close. Which means it is possible. Not very probable, but it is possible.
It is possible. Mumbai Indians fans, let us know whether you are enjoying this cracker of a match, and let's see whether Mumbai Indians can seal their first win or not, or whether they will go down 6 consecutive defeats in IPL 2022. The first time it is going to happen. Back in 2014, Mumbai had lost 5 on the trot, but then came back miraculously to seal their place in the playoff. Is it going to happen again?
Who's bowling the last over? Someone please tell me who's bowling the last over. No, it is highly improbable. because it's more than a boundary ball. But if anyone can do it, it's Pollard.
Absolutely, anyone can do it is Pollard, but let's see whether Pollard can do it or not. But for all you guys watching, do subscribe to News 9 Sports on YouTube. Just go on YouTube, type News 9 Sports, you'll find our new channel there where we are putting up all our content related to IPL, Indian cricket team, and from the other sporting actions as well. So News 9 Sport is your one-stop destination, so don't forget to subscribe to our channel and so that you don't miss any content that is coming your way. Nikhil, we'll come back to DC versus RCB. There's another big player that is playing in this match, that is Virat Kohli. Hasn't got any sort of, got a couple of 40s, but then it is not the Virat Kohli we are used to seeing.
I know, I mean, Virat Kohli, I think he's still suffering from that mental block that's still, what transpired in Indian cricket, Shubha, in last 3-4 months, it's still haunting him somewhere. This is not the free-scoring Virat Kohli we saw back in 2016, we saw for India before the 2019 form dipped. So, Virat Kohli, if I was Virat Kohli, I would, do something radical. I would open. I would open the innings of Faf Du Plessis. You remember what he did in 2016. Those 900 runs at a strike rate of 150 plus came as an opener. True. He wanted to bat as an opener, not only for RCB.
He did say that he wants to open
also for India.
As well.
I mean, that may not happen, but certainly for RCB, he can, he can open. I think the only hesitancy is they want someone of his experience in the middle order. But Maxwell is there, so I think Virat Kohli should open because currently he doesn't know what role he is playing. True. He's getting lost between anchor, accumulator, play. So I think he needs to open and play freely like he did in 2016.
Play freely like he did in 2016. Will we get to see the best of Virat Kohli again, especially when he's not getting that many runs in this tournament? Of course, Virat Kohli will be in action after a while. And let's take a look at the toss update from the Wankhede Stadium as well. Of course, Delhi Capitals had to opt to bowl first after winning the toss. Of course, that has been the trend. Every match that a team has won the toss, they have opted to field first. So that is the latest coming in from the Wankhede. Of course, Mitchell Marsh is in the DC 11 in place of Sarfaraz Khan. Very interesting because Sarfaraz didn't get to bat. The likes of Lalit Yadav, the likes of Akshar Patel were promoted in place of him, and he was back there sitting in the dugout. And for RCB, Harshal Patel, who had missed the last match due to a family bereavement, he is back in the playing 11. An emotional evening for him, and he replaces Akash Deep in that lineup. And of course, here's the RCB playing 11. Faf Du Plessis, the captain, Anuj Rawat, his opening partner. All eyes will be on Virat Kohli as usual. Glenn Maxwell is there, Shahbaz Ahmed is there, Suyash Prabhu Desai is there, Dinesh Karthik is there, Vanindu Hasaranga, Harshal Patel, Mohammad Siraj and Josh Hazelwood. Nikhil, there are so many big names, but for RCB, Shahbaz Ahmed and Suyash Prabhu Desai, these two youngsters in that middle order. Shahbaz has played 3 or 4 crucial knocks coming in tricky situations, but and Suyash Prabhu Desai, the lad from Goa, did impress straight away with his innovative stroke play.
Absolutely. I mean, these are the youngsters who are doing well for them. They have a good mix of youngsters, and experienced players, Shubha. Anuj Rawat also impressed in one match. There's Dinesh Karthik, the veteran. Maxwell is a veteran. Faf Du Plessis is a veteran. Virat Kohli is a veteran. So they have a good, interesting mix of players, and they want to give chances to also the younger crop, building a team for the future. Maybe this is the last auction. It is a good team RCB has, though I still think that bowling is their stronger suit.
Bowling is the stronger suit, of course, and why not when you have the likes of Harshal Patel, Josh Hazelwood, Mohammad Siraj and Vanindu Hasaranga in the same lineup. It has to be the stronghold for the team. And for Delhi Capitals, they have also made a change in the playing 11. Mitchell Marsh, of course, walks in for Sarfaraz Khan. We'll take a look at the DC playing 11 as well. Pressure will be on Rishabh Pant. We are talking about. Here's the head-to-head record between DC and RCB. Of course, RCB have the advantage with 16 wins and 10 defeats and one tied match, and we'll take a look at why DC has also faltered so much against RCB. Can this team, the side they have assembled, can they improve the record, the head-to-head record against RCB?
I think they can. I think today, it's time for Rishabh Pant to contribute, Shubhayan. Rishabh Pant needs to score at a higher strike rate. He needs to have clarity in his, just because he's captain, I think he's getting a bit bogged down. He's trying to bat more maturely. But maturity doesn't mean slowly necessarily. Maturity could also mean, maturity means players situation. Situation demands you go after the bowling, you go after the bowling. It doesn't necessarily mean you slow down. People get confused that maturity means that you back like an accumulator. That is not necessarily the definition of being mature. So I think Rishabh Pant needs to do what he does best. If the situation demands, he should go after the bowling, because he's getting wasted otherwise. A talent like Rishabh Pant is getting wasted, and it's putting pressure on a very untested lower order.
Absolutely, and that is why Rishabh Pant, you know, T20 format, when he broke into the scene, it was T20 format which made Rishabh Pant what he is today. But Nikhil, I have to break it for all the Mumbai Indians fans. Kyron Pollard has been dismissed, and you know, it is now just a formality. It is 6 out of 6, unfortunately, for Mumbai Indians.
It is 6 out of 6. I just saw the score. This is the worst start in IPL history for any team. Worst start in IPL history for any team. No one has lost 6 matches at the start of the campaign in any IPL edition, and we are talking about the 5-time winners.
Yep, the most successful team in the
I mean, this will, you know, shake a few. There will be a little mini earthquake in South Bombay. You know, there will be a little tsunami. So this will, you know, ruffle a few feathers, Shubhayan, definitely.
Absolutely, 6 wins, 6 defeats. In 6 matches. But the latest coming from Wankhede is that Faf Du Plessis and Anuj Rawat are all set to open the innings. They are at the crease to open the innings for RCB, and Mustafizur Rahman has the new ball for the first over. An interesting battle on cards because Faf hasn't gotten going. Anuj Rawat has shown his brilliance in flashes, but not as consistent as one would expect. Mustafizur Rahman, Nikhil, you know, has impressed me a lot, because you know, earlier we used to talk about his variations and all, but Mustafizur is now clocking 140 plus as well.
He's got his speed back.
He's got his speed back. He's looking to bounce out batters.
He's been very economical, Shubhayan. So, you know, economy rate of barely over 5. And interestingly, if you see RCB's opener, Anuj Rawat and Faf Du Plessis, they've had the slowest...
Nikhil, I'm interrupting you, but let's break it for officially for all our viewers that Mumbai Indians have suffered their 6th successive defeat. It is the worst ever start in the history of IPL. Mumbai Indians chasing 200 were restricted to 181 for 9. They did try. They did push the gas in the last few overs, but again it was just too much after the sort of start they had. Nikhil, 6 out of 6. Do you see Mumbai Indians coming back from this?
I mean, I don't think they're making the playoffs. I mean, one thing is certain, they'll have to win all the matches, also depend on other teams' results. But now it's about, you know, it's much beyond the playoffs, Shubhai. Now it is about legacy, pride, a lot. Because 6 out of 6, even for the 5-time winners, even for Mumbai Indians, you know, owned by who they are owned by, you know, it is a shock. It is a shock. Even if they're building a team for the future, Shubhai, in which they are, even if they've invested in youth for the future, this is a shock. 6 out of 6, they won't have expected.
Of course, and we will continue to decode why Mumbai Indians are faltering so much in this IPL. 6 defeats is a lot, and to start off with a champion team like Mumbai Indians, it does affect the morale of the players and the fan base as well. So the Delhi Capitals, so Mumbai Indians, of course, 6 defeats, and we'll do a separate video on what things are going wrong for Mumbai Indians. But DC, RCB, both the openers are at the crease. Mustafizur has the new ball. Whom are you backing in this match, Nikhil?
In this match, I think today the Capitals might have a slight edge. RCB has a strong bowling unit, but I just think today, with the inclusion of Mitchell Marsh, there's an extra zing in the DC top order. I'm expecting Rishabh Pant to also fire today. So it will be a close match, but DC just has the edge.
DC just has the edge. Thank you so much, Nikhil, for joining in. DC has the edge is what Nikhil is saying. Do let us know whether you agree with Nikhil there or not, which team you are backing in this match between DC and RCB, and also subscribe to News 9 Sports, because that is where we are bringing all our content for you guys, be it IPL, be it Indian cricket, or from the other sporting action going around in the world as well. So News 9 Sports is your one-stop destination for all things sports. So don't forget to subscribe to News 9. And for now, enjoy the match between DC and RCB. Of course, Mumbai Indians have suffered their 6th successive defeat as well. So a lot going into in this IPL, and we'll continue to give you in-depth coverage for this tournament. For now, thank you for watching.